Hello, my name is Sarah O'Hara. I'm a GP academic registrar at Queen's University Belfast, and I'm working with Professor Gormley and Dr. Conn. And it's great to present our work today on responding to paediatric emergencies in primary care, a novel approach using in situ simulation. So paediatric emergencies in primary care, they aren't rare, but they are uncommon. So it's difficult to develop skills from direct experience alone. These are high acuity events, and we need to be able to manage them promptly and effectively with our available team and resources to prevent catastrophic consequences. And that's where simulation is useful to train staff in high acuity, low opportunity events. But pediatric emergencies are complex clinical scenarios with individual, technical, and social factors difficult to recreate in the usual simulated settings. And that's where in situ simulation can retain clinical contextuality and provide an authentic learning experience in your place of daily work. Previous research has looked at this and explored its potential, but it's been limited by outcome measures such as improved participant confidence. So really just focusing on individual learning and it's systematic reviews that show that team training is a thing that improves patient outcomes. And paediatric emergency care and general practice won't just be on the process and delivery of care from one individual. It'll be about the healthcare teams and systems that have worked together. So that's where our work is going further. So we're using activity theory as a framework to extend the use of in situ simulation and enable it to drive organisational transformation alongside practitioner development. And answer the question, how could in situ emergency simulation support a process of organisational change in general practice paediatric emergencies? So we implemented a programme of in situ simulation. And in the first workshop, we had a simulation and then we reflected afterwards, guided by activity theory. And that enables subjects to consider issues beyond their individual performance, which might not otherwise have come to light. Then workshop 2 was a more in-depth facilitated reflection, and we used video footage from the initial workshop as mirror data so the subjects could look at what they did in relation to what was best practice, and then they looked at some contraindications and implemented changes. Then we returned for workshop 3 and had another simulation and a reflection afterwards to explore if those changes enhanced preparedness and response. And this was with a multidisciplinary team from general practice. And we gathered a really rich data set after this from their reflection diaries, the reflection wall, our transcribed discussions, and our video footage. And activity theory. This is a descriptive tool to map interactions between an individual and their environment. And this theoretical framework provides us with the analytical tools to recognise and analyse complex activities such as real-world clinical practice. And then from this, it enhances collective learning through analysing your tensions and then reconceptualisation and development of the shared object of the collective activity. So in this case, the object is the unwell paediatric child. The subject is the healthcare team delivering care to them, using your artifacts such as your emergency kits and rooms, following rules such as your basic life support guidelines and anaphylaxis guidelines. They're part of a community, social context of it. There's a division of labour, who does what within the activity system. And if you use activity theory as a lens, you start to see tensions between elements, and these are shown by the arrows. And they're drivers for change to overcome challenges and facilitate organisational transformation. For example, between the subjects and the artifacts, there was a tension that the staff initially couldn't find certain drugs and medication and equipment. So they brought in changes, which I'll show in the next slide, and then this enhanced preparedness for providing efficient and acute care. For example, the emergency drug trolleys, grab bags, and your laminated guidelines. So as well as these physical changes, there's evidence of culture beginning to change in this organisation. For example, debrief after difficult scenarios, staff induction to emergency protocols. This is all considered a microcycle of expansive learning characterized by systems changing as well as individuals within it. And we feel that there is implications for future research, practice and education from this work. We see a role for future study to do a full expansive learning cycle, and also that in situ simulations supported by theory could be helpful to turbocharge change in organisations when applied elsewhere. So I'd like to thank you for listening today, and I'll be happy to discuss any questions with you both at the Sesam event and by contacting me on the links below. Thank you.